Major Parlay, what's up, man?
What's up?
Not much. We just wanted to call in. We saw y'all talking about Belichick and Flores in the group.
And we've got you live here on the Big
We got
Baby
you live on the podcast.
Welcome back, friend.
What's up, pod?
We're here.
Yeah, we're here, man. So, like, what are your thoughts on this whole Belichick? Do you think he leaked it on purpose?
Well, I think it's one of those things where we'll never know if he leaked it on purpose or not. I mean, we could definitely, you know what I'm saying? It could go either way. I think there's a better chance that he sent that shit on purpose than him not saying that shit on purpose. But I mean, Belichick is calculated, and he knows that, you know what I'm saying, this is a mistake that he could make.
See,
like, you know, he already had the excuse for this mistake built up. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's plenty of times where he wanted to say something, but he couldn't because the two coaching hires weren't both named Brian. But in this case, they were. That's going to be done with the shit in the next 5 years. So he was kind of just like, you know, fuck it.
Yeah, that's how I felt, Major Parlay. I felt like he was just he did it in a way because to have plausible deniability, but
yeah, that's the word I was looking for. That's it exactly.
But he was trying to help his guy out because, I mean, he gave Flores his start. Flores was a Boston College guy who then worked for the Patriots after graduating college and was there up until he left to go to the Dolphins. Like, come on, man. That's his guy. That's his man's man.
I'm sure he knew that Flores was interviewing. Like, he was cognizant of all of this. You feel me? Like, he knew that there were two Brians interviewing for the same job. So I'm sure he knew beforehand to differentiate between the two. So, I mean, yeah, it's plausible deniability. And, you know what I'm saying? Good for Bill. Because I don't want Bill to I don't want anybody to scrutinize Bill. But it's also like, Bill's in a position of like, who the fuck can scrutinize him? You know what I mean? Like, Bill's not doing a job over this shit.
Yeah. Rick Ross said it best. Bill Belichick coaching and calling the shots. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what he is. He's a shot caller. He's been the GM there. He's been the head coach there. He's constructed arguably, if not certainly the greatest dynasty in NFL history, but we can look across sports, arguably the best dynasty
for sure.
And consistency in what is considered even maybe the hardest league to have one of those. Because in the NBA, now it's, you know, thanks to LeBron. Yeah, fuck you, LeBron. I'm talking to you. No, it's not fuck LeBron. It's Team Kobe here. But nonetheless, you know, it's easier to do it in other leagues as opposed to the NFL. It's very hard. There's a lot of parity in the NFL. That's why every year now we've got 14 playoff teams. But even when it was 12 or 14, pretty much half the time, half the teams that are in the playoffs weren't there the year before. So it's a lot harder to do that. And Bill is in one of these positions where, you know, he has, just like Tom, you know, they were because they're going to always be paired together. He doesn't have anything to lose. He's already accomplished everything. There's nothing. What can Tom, like what, you know, and we look at even other things that have came up in the media, even for them, Deflategate. You know, the recording, you know, your owner Kraft going to get his dick massage.
Hey, there's a part of me that questions whether or not, with, you know what I'm saying, Flores having worked for Belichick for so long, there's a part of me that questions if, like, they actually have an ongoing texting relationship. And, like, I wonder if Flores told Belichick about that, them offering to pay him to lose type shit. You feel me?
That and also, hey, Bill, while I'm your defensive coordinator, I interviewed for the Broncos job, man. John Elway was fucking lit when I did this interview. So It makes you wonder, right, did any of this other stuff, who did he tell? Who did Flores tell in general? Did he ever bring it up? And if so, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt the first people he came out to with this shit was the media.
The NFL The NFL already came out and said there's really no basis for the lawsuit in reality. So they're just kind of like, shut the fuck up, nigga. Like that's kind of like what they're saying. Even
well, I mean, that's what makes it a lawsuit is the fact that, you know what I mean? If he could have just went up to the NFL higher uppers, he would have just done that. You feel what I'm saying? But he was like, no, the NFL higher ups can't do shit for me. This is involving John Elway. You know what I mean? Like,
but Belichick has that weight, and it's like if that's your mentor / first boss and only boss before you even got into this, why wouldn't you use him as a resource? And even if Bill, let's say that Bill was like, oh, I don't want to put my hands on this. Like regardless of how accomplished I am, I just don't want to be a part of this.
And, I mean, when we talk about how much weight Bill has, I mean, I forgot this. Like, Bill doesn't have the weight to pull an entire. He doesn't have the weight to make an owner outside of Robert Kraft do anything.
That's true, but he's still the greatest coach in NFL history, and I just think that
that doesn't get you.
Obviously, he's connected to an organization. Now, granted, he worked for the Giants. He did work for the Giants, but he's still connected even to another organization, and so.
And it doesn't matter.
They're able to tell him, man, we're going to hire one of your former guys. So, and I feel like this happens all the time with the coach. It doesn't matter if you're Bill Belichick. They come to you and they tell you, hey, like I bet that Dan Quinn knew that Shanahan was going to get, and it's a totally different situation because he was his assistant too. At the time, he actually was working for him. But I guarantee you that Dan Quinn was in on this conversation with John Lynch or whoever owns the 49ers. I know that he knew that already.
Well, and here's the thing, though. With the Belichick thing, even if he's not connected to the organization, you know that he's getting the calls to vet his guys because it's just like a reference.
Tell me about him. Yes, exactly. It's a reference.
And Flores, for one, again, he came to the organization 04-05, if my memory serves me correctly. But bigger than that, he was Bill's DC. His big assistant job before he got a head coaching job was to be Bill's DC. And if you know anything about the Patriots, you know that Bill still runs that defense, So, they had a great relationship. They were hand in hand. So Bill saw that text thread. He ain't out here deleting text from B-Flow. You know what I'm saying? He might be deleting some text from some other people, but he's not deleting text from B-Flow. So I find it hard to believe that he sent that text just not knowing who he was talking to. But I mean, I'm just a talking head here.
Yeah, no, bro. I mean, bro, if you had put a gun in my head and said, did Bill Belichick do that shit on purpose? I would say absolutely he did that shit on purpose. But the thing is, I want to give Bill Belichick his plausible deniability because I feel like he deserves not plausible deniability. He really did the right thing. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely, JP. And you know what? You can take this back to the locker room as we end this conversation. Everybody want to have a private opinion, but don't want to come on the podcast, so fuck them. Hey, man, thanks for calling back, dog. We'll be in the group text a little bit later. All right, dog.